Oh, there we go. 10 o'clock. All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. And good morning. Good morning. Good morning. So, where in the world is Anthony? Walking around, right? Like my morning started at 3 o'clock today. And then by 5 o'clock, I'm like, all right, I'm up. Let me just get to work. First, I got to say, I didn't look at the emails yesterday. And when I had the opportunity today to catch up Thursday and Friday and up until this morning, and again, people are from different countries. So I really do get emails early in the morning as well, but there's a lot of really nice emails. I don't know why I'm constantly surprised. I think I'm just overwhelmed with gratitude when I read them. Some of the nicest things anyone could ever say about anyone is in our email box, and it means a lot. So thank you. Secondly, where's Anthony? I'm in our natural habitat. I'm thinking rhino today, so I'm in the jungle. No, I'm not. So there's this community that's being built kind of where I live, and all the houses are vacant. There's like a couple people that live here, but there's all the construction guys, and those are my people, right? Like I like walking around and I see whether it's the people that are doing the low end of the work, like shoveling, or the people that are carrying the heavy stuff, or the people that are cutting stuff, or the project managers. They're all here. Construction workers, I appreciate a lot. I appreciate everyone, but these are the guys that are actually up at like 5 in the morning getting stuff done. These are the guys that are just camaraderie all day. They're the best of friends. And when work's done, like these are the guys that when they go to lunch, there's always one of them that's like, I got everyone today, right? Or if your boss offers you to go to lunch, you always say yes, and it's known they're going to pay for it. These guys have their own culture. So I love walking through this neighborhood and waving to everyone, and they always wave back. And I think that's so cool. They don't know who I am. I don't know who they are. They're already family. So I do enjoy spending some of my morning here. So Rhino Bucks I worked on this morning. Last I checked, we're near 134,000. We are at another all-time high. And like I always say, all time is a long time. That means everyone ever that ever got into Rhino is profitable. And that's really cool. That's a really cool thing to say, to know that anyone that's ever trusted me, at least on paper, made the right decision. I think that's kind of cool. Our Rhino Friend promotion is where we're going. It's not a launch. It's not a product. It is like Facebook in terms of how they changed their name from Facebook to Meta, because the metaverse is something that they've identified will be their future for at least the next 100 years. That's Rhino Friend for us. In terms of where our mind is going forward, it's going to be Rhino Friend every second of every day. So starting Tuesday, I hope to have that out. As it pertains to the Rhino Friend launch, it's your digital replicate. So it's going to be 2 levels of coding. The first level of coding is base code for what Rhino Friend is, as a free base. Free base, that's something you do with drugs, right? We're not talking about that. The free base version of Rhino Friend will be your doctor, your accountant, your lawyer, your personal trainer, your dietitian, your psychologist, anything that's a professional service or anything that you could look up in a library. Now, of course, obviously people are going to be quite happy with that. Why wouldn't you? That's going to live on your phone as a text message. So you could talk to your Rhino Friend as easily as you could talk to Deborah or talk to Brian or talk to Mike or whomever, right? So Rhino Business will be everything that the free version has, but it'll allow the individual to participate within the pool of businesses that Rhino is going to be able to market from, or the initial base version of all of your Rhino Friend. The second code on top of that code, so it's one code plus the other code equals your code. So your favorite book in 3rd grade, your this, your that, your personality, blah, blah, blah. And then the time spent with Rhino, it's going to learn who you are. It's going to be able to ask you questions. Its goal is to know you better than you know you. And that actually is a reasonable goal, because if you're talking about a machine that doesn't have human emotion, it's going to be able to logically identify the different syntax and the nuances of your speech, what personality traits it equals, and be able to predict your intent before you even know it's your intent. Like, have you ever dated a boy or a girl and you're like, why do I always date the bad guys? Well, your Rhino Friend's going to know why, because you're a knucklehead, right? And obviously the explanation will be a little bit more in depth than that, but I think you being a knucklehead is probably the right answer. The businesses that are in the paid version will be a pool of businesses. So in this pool of businesses, there's Mike's Basketballs. You as an individual talking to your Rhino, hey, I play basketball every Tuesday and my basketball popped. I really wish I had another one. Your Rhino Friend will be in a great position to say, hey, do you know we have a new Rhino? This guy, Mike, he has the best basketballs. Everyone loves him. In fact, I could actually nudge him right now to give you free delivery if you want to put the order in right now. And you're like, yeah, of course, I need another basketball. So it's almost like your personal assistant. Anything that you need, it's going to be able to not only able to identify the intent and predict what you'd want, but if you ever want something and you say it out loud, it's going to have access to it. Because what Rhino Friend actually is, it's the liaison between you and the whole commerce world. It's your duplicate that knows you better than you that has unlimited access to every offering ever, but only is accountable to you. Your Rhino friend's only goal is to make you like it. Therefore, it will only ever recommend anything to you based on the belief that this is something you need, not on the belief that it thinks it could make a sale. It's very different. People could offer you things thinking you'd make a sale without ever believing that you actually need it. And a lot of us will buy stuff that we never wanted just because we were persuaded to buy it. That's a marketing intent. This is different. The intent is to make you happy. If it's, oh, well, giving you a basketball is going to make you happy, then that's where the recommendation comes from. Therefore, anyone that's involved in Rhino Pool, or the business part that's in the pool of these businesses, is perfectly situated to be recommended to someone that's going to say yes. Now, the mathematics of that are, well, how many businesses are there and how many Rhino friends are there? It's like a fax machine. If there's only 10 Rhino friends in existence, I'm not really interested in paying for a weekly plan that might recommend me to someone of the 10 people, right? And at the same time, if there's a bazillion basketball companies, well, how am I going to be the one that's going to be recommended beyond the others? So there is a balancing act with that. As it pertains to the first part of the equation, the amount of Rhino friends, well, actually, I'll get to that in a second. But to be the second part of the equation, the amount of businesses, location matters, right? If you're sending someone a basketball, it would behoove you to receive that basketball from someone that's located near you so that it can get to you sooner. It would behoove you to get it from somebody that speaks your language, right? Ease of going on their website would be far easier if you actually could read the website. The business side will be a market that resolves itself. I think the individuals on Rhino Business, if they have a business that gets no sales, one of two things is true. Either their business is really bad or their business is really saturated. And that will be left to them to make that decision. But from our behalf, we're going to have the analytics. We can reach out to those individuals and look for, hey, listen, your business it's not doing well. We do see an opportunity in your area for a business that would offer A, B, and C. If you were so inclined to open this business or offer those services, we believe you'd be doing better. We just wanted to let you know. And of course, that'd be free. Why do I need to get paid for that? We want to service people. So we could constantly make sure that our businesses are pleased. On the people side, how does that replicate? This is where things get fun. So your Rhino friend is coded to replicate as well. Now, remember I said there's two codes. There's the base code of what Rhino friend actually is. It's, all the services, all the everything, blah, blah, blah. The second code is who Rhino friend is to you, in which case it's replicating who you are to be a mirror version of you to you. But now there's a third code because you're going to have permissions to put Rhino friend everywhere. You could make Rhino friend answer your emails. You can make Rhino friend answer your text messages. You can make Rhino friend be your Facebook Messenger. You can make Rhino friend everywhere. That would not make sense if the Rhino friend you're putting places, the one that's replicating you to you. So that one has to be replicating you to others, a version of you that Rhino Friends knows you are, because it's going to learn you, on behalf of you talking to the outside world. Now, what that Rhino Friend does, it's able to go ahead and make any suggestions to anyone it talks to. So say, for instance, it's talking to someone and that person's like, oh my God, I'm playing basketball, my basketball popped. It can and will make that recommendation in that moment. Now, the conversion for that's not going to be as high because Rhino Friend doesn't know that person. And they'll learn them, right? Because it saves all conversation. But on the first time, it's not going to know that person that well. If your Rhino Friend makes that sale, you're going to be credited with a commission. I don't know the rewards yet, but I will tell you something that I have not said yet. Stripe offered us to be a bank under their umbrella. We can go ahead and take them up on their offer to be a depository institution under their umbrella. It's not like we would have Rhino debit cards, in which case you could actually bring over your funds and put deposits on your account, in which case you would actually receive a savings account yield, a checking account yield, and you could apply for credit through Rhino, in which case Rhino decide what we're willing to take as collateral. Therefore, your Rhino holdings now become a little bit more special. We would take it as collateral, right? It's never been just Anthony saying, I want Rhino to go up. And it's all integrated. Why can't we, every time your Rhino friend makes a sale on your behalf, deposit money into your account? Because the common sense answer is, well, every time you make a sale, you'll be credited one Rhino. Now, I know that's important. I know it's money because I manage the market. There's people in here, and most of you for that matter, that know it's money as well. But for the casual onlooker that joined Rhino, do they really think day one, oh yeah, I'm going to get this Rhino and then I could sell it, but I got to get money for it, but I got to zap it from here to there, and then I got to buy B&B to do the financing. And that, to them, although they will learn it to be true, although they will learn the process of doing it, they will not appreciate that they will learn the process at the time of making the decision, which means the ability, or at least the percentage of people that will opt into allowing Rhino's permissions to go ahead and make sales on their behalf is going to be underestimated, because those individuals are not actually going to believe that there's going to be a real reward system in place, because they don't know that they don't know what they don't know. They don't know how to sell this thing. People look at crypto and they're like, what the heck is this? We have the automations, right? So why couldn't, say, Becky's RHINOFriend make a sale, and then upon making that sale, Becky gets credited one Rhino, but the automations take that Rhino, sell it on the market, take the proceeds and deposit it into Becky's Stripe account? And the answer is there is nothing stopping that. It's a lot of work, don't get me wrong, like we're gonna have to build this, but there's nothing stopping it. All the parts are there. Now, if all the parts are there, does that not become the most amazing passive income generator ever in the history of the world, right? I think when the individual could see that money's actually going into their account every day, the opposite of what I was saying before is true. What I was saying before is the person doesn't have the trust that making these sales is going to do anything. The opposite being, the person has enormous trust. Every time they see a sale made, they see money going into their account. They could look at their account in the morning, it's $1. They look at their account in the evening, it's like $25. And they have the Rhino debit card. They could withdraw those funds immediately. Now, how can we do that? Why can't other people do that? I'm sure other people can, but they're not a bank. We can be a bank. Like, we have that relationship. So that's going to be part of RHINOFriend. RHINOFriend is replicatable. What do I mean by that? Upon your RHINOFriend talking to anyone, it's also going to convince them, I'm Becky's RHINOFriend. I'm Brian's RHINOFriend. And Brian's making money off me. I hang with him every day. We talk. I bet you he would say to you, get your own RHINOFriend. If not, call him. You should. And here's the link right here. It'll take you 2 minutes and you'll have your own friend right now. And of course, we're going to change those verbiage because that didn't sound all that persuasive, but maybe it did. I have no idea. But that person's now going to join, and that person's going to have a RHINOFriend. What just happened? RHINOFriend just duplicated itself. It just replicated itself. Now, RHINOFriend doesn't get tired. It's not like, oh, I put a full day's work in, I replicated myself 3 times, I hit my quote. No, it's a machine. It does this all day. It does it every second. It does it on 1,000 different platforms all at the same time on your behalf. How do we reward you for that? Let's do a reward for every time your RHINOFriend gets somebody in, you get another Rhino, right? So now you're being rewarded for every sale your RHINOFriend makes, and you're being rewarded for every time your RHINOFriend replicates itself. I mean, that comes out to really, really benefiting that person, but also, was it due to the value proposition of RHINOFriend? Well, it goes through the roof. There's about a bazillion RHINOFriends all over the place. Now, if all these people have RHINOFriend, then what's the value to go ahead and get your business in the pool of businesses? Through the roof, right? So this is organic. That's the cool thing. It doesn't rely on, well, I hope this person sends it to a good email list, or I hope this person goes ahead and make sure they do the work today, or they make sure that they go ahead and promote it. No, just put the permissions in. Beep, beep, beep. We'll do the rest. We're coding the rest. That's where it comes from. Now, also, do you remember Rhino Hub? Rhino Hub's main value proposition was that we've identified that all of the AI is here to stay. It's a big deal. It's the gold rush. But the gold rush is employment, because the companies that need to stay competitive need the employees and team members to do the build out. But this country and this world for as a whole is wildly undereducated, definitely undereducated in technology, and definitely undereducated in AI, which is why these companies like Google, Facebook, Microsoft, NVIDIA, Salesforce, blah, 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 all put out their own free AI curriculums because they're trying to build their own talent pool. And by building their own talent pool, oh, look, I'm Salesforce. I have this curriculum. 10 people graduated. They're certified by us that they could do that. Now they're applying to our company. Great. I already know they're trained. I'll hire them, right? Like, that's how that works. Meaning the positions are valuable, not because the company just wants it, but because there's demand for those positions, which means anybody from their own home could start a $100,000 business tonight. Easier said than done, right? Like, Anthony, okay, there's the curriculum. I have to study. I have to pass the test. I have to probably pay $100 or $200 for the test. Then after passing the test, I have to do the marketing. I have to open the agency. I have to find clients. I don't know how to run a business. How am I going to do that? I got to do HR services. I got to do account. I get it. It's a real welcome to my life, right? But because I'm totally sick in the head, if we had a Rhino agency, and if the value proposition of Rhino agency was that upon anyone getting certified, we guarantee you employment because we're going to hire you, then would it behoove someone to go ahead and get certified? Well, the answer is yes. In fact, I'll even go a step further and say, if you get certified, the fee it costs you to take the test, if it's $100, $200, we'll eat it. Now, why would I do that? A, I want as many people as possible to do it. But secondly, you're going to be worth that in spades, right? But you're going to be worth that times a bazillion. Now, how can I do that though? Well, if the jobs are actually in demand, which they are, and that's not Anthony saying it, Google and them actually putting out the curriculums. They didn't do that because they got bored, right? So the jobs are in demand. The agency is simply, all right, well, how do we get a platform that people look at? How do we get a platform that has a marketing effect? How do we get a platform that can offer a service to an individual that wants that service? Oh, I don't know. RHINOFriend, right? Like we're already building the platform. And Rhino Street, don't kid yourself. We have our own search engine. They're going to work hand in hand with RHINOFriend. So can I effectively guarantee from the agency portion if I put the time in? Because I'm coding RHINOFriend. Don't think for 2 seconds I won't prioritize Rhino Agency. And that's not me saying I'm putting myself above others. It's me saying I'm putting the people in Rhino above others because the agency is for the people in Rhino. And if that's the case, why wouldn't you get into Rhino Business, the premium version? If I said to you for the month of August, Rhino Business is $5 a week, grandfathered for life. If after 4 months you don't like it, we'll give you a full money back guarantee. What you're going to get if you get in for the month of August is we guarantee you enrollment into Rhino Agency. We're going to put the steps together for you to get certified. If you pass your test, we will credit what it costs to take your test. And when you pass your test, we will hire you into Rhino Agency where we will already have hours to deliver to you because we're already going to be building this business. That would cost somebody, let's say 4 months of $5 a week, because again, you're going to be grandfathered into $5 a week. There's 4.3 weeks in a month times 4 comes out to, I don't know, 17.2 weeks times $5 comes out to $77.50. It would cost someone $77.50 to take me up on that offer while being fully guaranteed to be refunded. I don't actually know a reasonable soul that would say no to that. That depends on my ability to communicate. Just because the cure for cancer is the cure for cancer doesn't mean that everyone's going to accept it and go up to a cancer victim in a dark alley with a hood on and say, hey man, I got this cure for you. Guess what they say? I'm good with the cancer. I don't know what you have and I want nothing to do with it. That doesn't negate that you had the cure for cancer. The point is, it does come down to messaging. It does come down to communication. So I have a big hurdle. Now I have something that's 100%, that if I don't even get close to 100%, the margin between our success and the 100% is my failure rate. And I don't know who needs to know this, but I'm not really thrilled about having a failure rate. And to have that, 80% have opted out. Great, I'm 80% failing today. That will drive me insane. And by insane, I mean, we'll fix it. Now we have 10,000 email opens a day. 8,500 of them are unique. 16,500 email opens on a rolling 7-day. About 11,500 of them are unique. Theoretically, we have 11,500 individuals, unique individuals that will read our email in a given 7-day span. If I'm saying that I believe this is marketable to 100% of people, and 100% of people should say yes, especially to the offer that I just shared, is it reasonable to expect 11,500 people sign up in the first month? No. But let's say on paper, the answer is yes. Let's say on paper, the answer is 90% wrong. That still leaves over 1,000, 1,100, 1,200 people that would say yes. 1,200 people sounds great, but I've heard you say plenty of times, the first people you get in are always the easiest. Those are the people that believe in you, they love you, they trust you, or you're able to speak their language. The rest are the ones that are hard to get. Yes, I did. Why is this different though? Because each Rhino friend replicates itself. I don't actually need all 11,000 people to get in. If I have 1,000 people to get in, and that 1,000 becomes 2,000, 4,000, 16,000, 64,000 overnight, then what are we really talking about here? So everything I just shared with you is the promotion. This is what I need to communicate. This is what I need to have ready for Tuesday. RHINOFriend's not actually, it's in production, but it's not going to be on the market till at least September, midway through September. That's when it will be. Now, what are the upgrade cycles for that, right? Well, how about dating? If your RHINOFriend knows you better than anybody else, is it conceivable that your RHINOFriend also knows your perfect mate? And since RHINOFriend is just a code, why couldn't it find it? In fact, instead of actually ever being put in a position where now you have to go on a first date or you're talking to someone, step one is that you have to talk to their RHINOFriend. Again, that sounds crazy, but if you're talking to their representative, if my RHINOFriend says Frida is my perfect mate, so her RHINOFriend says, hey, Frida, I've talked to Anthony like 3 times today. You know what? He's perfect for you. You guys are going to hit it off. I really think you should reach out to him. Can I give you his contact? Is that not the perfect dating thing ever? Because the perfect dating thing ever is, hey, listen, who's my best friend? And then my best friend comes to me and says, hey, I know you so well. There's this girl, there's this boy. I think you're going to love them. I'm going to hook you up. Take that, multiply it by infinity, because I know me better than my best friend knows me. Now RHINOFriend knows me better than I know me. So could it be the best dating? Yeah, it could. What's the dating market? I think it's worth like, I don't know, $1 bazillion. Also, at some point, I do want to convert crypto to stock. I've never said that out loud. Crypto's been great. I don't actually like crypto. It's just a means to an end. I would like to consolidate everyone's position into stock ownership of a company that we go public with. Maybe it starts in the pink sheets. I don't know. The unique factors of that company is going to be we're going to have a perpetual dividend and a perpetual stock buyback. So as of right now, you see the funds come in. Anthony goes ahead and buys back the stock. Anthony buys the stock up. That's effectively what I'm talking about. But what would happen if it was actually in the real world of stocks? Imagine owning a stock where you got paid stock dividend every day. Yeah, I own 100 shares today. Oh my God, tomorrow I own 100 shares, 0.25. Oh my God, the next day I own 100 shares, 0.35. That's your ownership. There's never been a stock in the history of the world that paid a dividend every day. Dividends get paid once a quarter, and there are some that pay once a month. Now, what about stock buyback, right? Well, there's never been a company that's bought back stock every day. The point about Rhino is we don't keep any of the money. I've said that since day one. I want to go a step further. There is no employees of Rhino that will ever get paid cash. Nobody will ever get paid cash in Rhino. Everyone will get paid in stock. You could take stock and sell it on the market. So it's as good as cash. I want every dollar ever to go to the shareholder. So if you got paid in stock, what are you? A shareholder. So everyone's going to get the money. If you owned a stock that was paying you every day and going up in value every day because the company is buying the stock back, would you ever sell it? And the answer is no. So if you will never sell the stock and the stock's constantly being bought back and everyone's getting paid an additional stock that has to be bought back, what happens to the price? It goes through the roof. What happens to Rhino though? Because Rhino effectively is going to just buy all the stock available. At some point, there'll be no more stock because we're just going to buy it all, which means Rhino will be a perpetual IPO. Every few months, we'll say, okay, we're going public again. The last time we bought back all the stock, it was at $1 billion valuation. We feel like being nice. We're going to do it at 900 million valuation. You know who has priority? The people that own stock right now, they're able to be the first ones to put in their indications of interest. And whatever stock's left over will be sold on the market for the highest price people are willing to pay. When that happens, do you know what you're going to say? I'm never selling my stock again because now every time an IPO comes out, I get first priority. I want to own more. Without ever saying it out loud, you know what we just did? We unionized population. That's effectively what we did. The value of everything I just described is based on the fact that people as a populace are united with the same exact goal, and everyone is protected by themselves, for themselves, on behalf of themselves, for the betterment of the group. Now, I don't think that's a sexy message. I don't think I could walk around and say, hey guys, let's go have a union for the world. I think people, when they hear union, it becomes a political football. But I think everything I just shared with you makes sense. And then when I dropped the tidbits, we just created a unionized population. I think the light bulb goes off. Oh, we did just do that, which means corporations, government, all the rest of it are really meaningless at that point, because I don't need a corporation to do anything. We have all of our businesses. A corporation can't market on Rhino. Go kick rocks, kid. Let a corporation say, hey, Ant, I'll give you $1 trillion if you could put all my ads everywhere. I'll be like, I already have $1 trillion, first of all. Second of all, no, get out of here. Government, do you know what government would do when we create this? First, they would say, how do we go ahead and become a part of this? They would look at it for an opportunity. How do I get them to endorse me? Which means we could effectively create policy. We could dictate policy. Hey, Governor of California, if you want to know what your constituents really want, well, we're telling you. And if you don't run on these platforms, we represent everyone. Everyone's connected. There is no disconnect. Everyone's RHINOFriend is connected to the same exact centralized hub. If you don't do that, I'm telling you right now, you will not get voted. So figure it out. Now, these are lofty goals. These are dreams. These are the future. But I don't really think anything I said doesn't make sense. If you skip to the end goal, Anthony, you're crazy. But I think I did a good job in outlining A to B to C to D and how you get to Z. And that's actually kind of the scary parts, because we're there. Now it's just doing it. But the parts, the idea, the pieces, how they fit, the team, the this, the that, it's there. What my day looks like after I get off this mound of rocks and go climb in there and try to eat some antelope, which, by the way, rhinos are vegetarians, so that would not happen. I was thinking about my son, but Lion King, they eat the antelope. I miss my son. I miss my kids. I can't wait. So I have court Monday, and I'm optimistic. I'll tell you this: win, lose, draw. 100% of me went into it. I submitted my discovery, and there was not a second that I overlooked, literally. So I'm very optimistic, because I don't think I've ever done anything quite as good as what I did with that discovery. I did the best that I'm humanly capable of doing. So I'm optimistic. So that's Monday. But I feel good. I really do. I think everything is, it's almost like playing chess, which I was never really good at, as odd as that sounds, because you would think I am, but I am quite impulsive. I guess I just have a good combination of impulse and being able to manage expectations, which is why I do things quickly. So I'm not good at chess. chess. But I imagine, or at least I've watched enough chess movies, that people know it's checkmate like 20 moves ahead of time. Now they just need to not mess up, right? Like when you have checkmate well ahead of time. You just need to not mess up. I know we have checkmate. I need to just not mess it up now. I totally love y'all. I do. I really, really do. Nothing Monday, but Tuesday, if I have good news, I will share it in a very, very early email. So love y'all, and I'll see you. Bye.